truth. And I'm Sean, as Jenny mentioned. I'm the child of a murdered woman, my mom. And in 2015, my brothers came to me and said, hey, there's this thing going on, let's get involved. I think we can be involved. I said, sure, let's go for it. So we did, we got very involved. I sat on the Families Council for a number of years. And then we went to the hearings in 2017. My brother was passionate, and he begged the commission not to let the inquiry die. And I asked that the commissioners listen to us with an open heart, an open mind, free of prejudice. We are grateful that they followed through, and we feel like we were heard. First, let's acknowledge the hard work and commitment of the commissioners and their team for the past 4 years. Let's acknowledge the brave families who told their stories in front of an entire nation. Let's acknowledge the guides, the elders, and supporters who stepped up to assist both the commissioners and the families. We are indebted to you. Masi. Terry's up. Lost it. Terry and Zabo and Joy O'Brien asked me to come tell my story. I don't want to. I'm not going to. Instead, I want to talk about where do we go from here. We cannot think we are done now that the commission has presented its findings. We can't wait for politicians and policymakers to argue the definition of words. While they attempt to muddy the waters, we need to continue to be vocal in our calls for equality in this country. At the same time, we need to continue to heal, to grow, and not to be silent about the tragedies our families have experienced. The world is listening and watching. It is time now, though, to show that we are not going to rest. We've been quiet too long. We've been passive too long. Now we need to continue to tell our collective stories of our missing family members, whether they never came home from residential school, whether they were taken to non-Indigenous families, or taken away never to return. Each time we tell our story, we heal more. To be successful in our healing, we can't leave the most vulnerable and wounded to their own. I want all of us to check on our community members who are struggling. When people feel they are valued, they'll find their own path of healing. Each of you, when you go home, make it a goal. Do it weekly. Check on someone. No expectations, no judgments, just out of the care of our community members. Whether we turn to traditional ways or we forge ahead in our new ways of doing things. For example, our community can and is willing to think outside the box of colonialism and develop a new way of doing things. Just last week, the Globe and Mail ran a story about the amazing work done at Common Dunn's community safety officers. 4 young people who are doing an amazing job helping their community feel safe and secure. When young men like Blake Lepine, Tlingit artist, begin to ask to return to a matriarchal society, you know they are waking up to the reality of the imbalance of our current situation. These conversations have to happen loud and clear. We need to stop thinking inside the box, get rid of the box labeled colonial ways, and find our own way of moving through this life. And we do that by elevating everyone, by protecting the weak, by noticing the wounded, and by being willing to put our egos aside and let younger people, women, and Two-Spirit folks guide us. Again, the world is watching. And how do we do this, you ask? I think Louis Riel said it best. My people will sleep for 100 years, but when they wake, it will be the artists who give them their spirit back. Artists like Dennis Shorty, master carver musician, Cascadena. Vashti Etzel, visual artist, Shutadena and Cascadena. Benjamin Boyd, musician, Gwichin. Ann Smith, Raventail weaver, Kwanlandan. These people and so many more are sharing their stories, showing us our spirit. We are waking up, and the world is watching. Let us make our ancestors proud. Masi.